Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome my dear and esteemed students to a new lesson of English. Our today's lesson is about grammar part 2. So this lesson number 5 will be about grammar number 2, and we will talk about the past with must, may, might and can't. So the title of our lesson is talking about the past with must, may, might and can't. Let's know something about this thing. Number A, read the information about must, may, might and can't in the grammar books. Here we have grammar books in our books on page number 8. So we want to read the information about these auxiliaries must, may, might and can't. We use these verbs, the auxiliary verbs must, may, might and can't. They are used to express certainty and uncertainty. They are another way for a speaker or writer to show his or her opinion about something. If you want to show your opinion, if you want to show your point of view, you can use must, may, might and can't. If you are sure of something, if you are certain of happening something, you can use must. If you are not certain, if you are uncertain of that, you can say may or might. So here we use these verbs to express certainty and uncertainty. They are another way for a speaker or a writer to show his or her opinion about something. Examples: this boy must be your brother. You look very similar. So here, the speaker, he is certainly your brother, means. The speaker means here, he is certainly your brother. I'm sure that he is your brother. So here, the speaker uses must to express certainty. The second example, the painting may be 200 years old. Here, the speaker expresses uncertainty. He is not sure how old is the painting, how old the painting is. So to express uncertainty here, the speaker uses may. The painting may be 200 years old. The painting is possibly 200 years old. It's possible. Yes, number 3. The band might do another tour next year. The band might do another tour next year. So the band will possibly also do another tour next year. She can't be that ill. I saw her this morning. She can't be that ill. I saw her this morning. She is definitely not that ill. I am sure, I'm certain of the fact that she is not that ill. Here we have to remember, we have to put into our consideration that may and might have a similar meaning. So might and may have to some extent the same meaning, and we can say a similar meaning. But might is more common in spoken British English. Might is used in spoken British English commonly. Now, number B, look at the sentences from the text on page number 7. Mark each sentence as follows. We have to put the letter C if the writer is certain it's true, So if the speaker is certain this sentence is true, we can put the C letter, and we can put in. We put in to refer to the uncertain sentences. We put in if the writer is not certain this sentence is true. Number 1, the people who drew the lines can't have had planes or helicopters. So, my dear students, you have to think here deeply, because the speaker here uses can't have. Do you know the answer? Yes, you are good students. Excellent. So here the speaker is certain. So we have to put C in number 1, because the writer uses can't. C. Number 2, it must have been difficult to draw them. And also here the speaker uses must. So we have to put C letter, because the speaker is certain. The lines might have been made by aliens. So here we are not sure if the lines are made by aliens or other people. The speaker here is not sure, is not certain who is the doer of the lines. Yes, here we have to put N, because the writer is not certain it's true. Number 4, the ancient people might have made hot air balloons. The ancient people might, here we have to notice might. Yes. So the writer is not certain it's true, because he has or she has, yes, the verb might, the auxiliary might. Number 5, the lines and pictures must have had an important purpose. We have must, and as we have said that using must means you are certain of the meaning. So here we have to put C letter, C. And finally, the people may have thought their gods would see the pictures from the sky. The people may have thought their gods would see the pictures from the sky. Here we are not sure, we have to put number or the letter N. Now we can see the answers. Number 1, C. That means certain, certain, not certain, not certain, certain, not certain. You can check your answers and compare your answers with these answers. Now C, number C. Look at the words after must have, might have, may have, and can't have in the sentences. In exercise number B, what form are all the verbs? Here we will talk about the verbs after must have, may have, might have, and can't have. Read the information in the grammar books below, then check your answers, or to check your answers. Talking about the past with must, might, may, and can't. A writer or a speaker can show how certain she is or he is about an event in the past by using must, may, might, can't, plus have, plus past participle. Past participle here is verb 3, the third form of the verb. We can clarify that by using some examples. A snake must have made those marks in the sand. Here we have must plus have, then the past participle of make, which is made. A snake must have made those marks in the sand. Here we are certain of the meaning of this sentence, but to express that the sentence happened in the past, we use have after the verb, the auxiliary verb must, then we put the verb in the past participle form. The second example, he might have left home already. I will phone his mobile. I will phone his mobile. So he might have left home already. We don't know if he has left or not. He might have left home already. So I will phone his mobile. I will call him. It can't have been easy for the Egyptians to build the pyramids. It can't have been easy for the Egyptians to build the pyramids. Here we use after have the verb to be in the third form, I mean been. Yes. And finally, the Taj Mahal must have been built by very skilled workers. The Taj Mahal must have been built by very skilled workers. Now let's move to our workbooks and do the exercises there. Let's begin with the exercise number 1. Look at the pictures of tracks in the desert. Complete the sentences by adding have and the past participle of the verb in brackets. So here we have some sentences. We have to put auxiliaries, and after auxiliaries we have to put full verbs, ordinary verbs, and between the modals or the auxiliaries and the full verbs we have to put have to express that the actions happened in the past. Number 1, a bird must space make the tracks because they are small. Here we have to use make. Make in the past participle is made. After must we have to put have. So the sentence becomes, a bird must have made the tracks because they are small. Number 2, we can do the same thing with number 2, 3, and 4. People might have driven. Driven is the past participle, the verb 3 of drive. People might have driven across here in a jeep. Number 3, someone must have walked. Walk is a regular verb. Sorry. So if you want to make it in the, or to put it in the past participle, we add ed to the end of it. Someone must have walked over the dune. Number 4, a desert rat may have left these paw prints in the sand. A desert rat may have left these paw prints in the sand. After writing the missing words, we can check our answers now. You can correct your answers if you have if you have committed mistakes. After checking now, let's move to exercise number B. Look at the picture and read the short text below. Then complete the sentences using must, might, or can't, and the verbs in brackets. Here we have a verb between two brackets. We have to use it after putting auxiliaries must, may, might, or can't. Yes, discuss your answers with a partner, with your classmate. This is one of the famous stones of Death Valley in California, USA. The stone weighs about 20 kilos. There are no footprints or other marks nearby. So, this number one, the stone traveled a long way across the ground. The stone must have traveled. The stone must have traveled a long way across the ground. Number two, it. Here we have to put must. It must have been. It must have been difficult to move the stone. Number three, people move the stone. People can't have moved the stone. Here in the negative we put the sentence. We put a negative form of this sentence. People can't have moved the stone. Number four, the wind carried the stone across the desert. We are not certain here, so we can use might. The wind might have carried the stone across the desert. Here we have to draw our attention to something. The end of carry is the Y letter. We change the Y into I and we put ed in the past participle form of it. Number five, an animal pushed the stone along the ground. No, we are certain that it's not the act. It's not the act of animals. So an animal can't have pushed the stone along the ground. And finally, aliens can't have dropped the stone in the desert. After doing this exercise orally, we can see the answers. Number one, must have traveled. Here we have doubled the L. Must have been, can't have moved, might have carried. Here we have changed the Y into I and put ed. Can't have pushed and can't have dropped, and here in the final sentence, we double the P letter. Now exercise number C on page number 8. Read the examples of passive sentence or sentences with must, may, might, and can't. Then rewrite the sentences below in the passive. So we have to read the examples of passive sentences using may, might, can't, must, and then we have to rephrase the sentences in the passive. Must, might, may, and can't in passive sentences. So must, may, might, and can't are often used in passive sentences in the past. In this case, the verb be is in the past participle form, which is been. So here, after must, might, may, and can't, we put the verb to be in the form of been. Examples: the stones must have been transported by boat. So somebody must have transported the stone by boat. The remains can't have been preserved very well. They can't have preserved the remains very well. My cat might have been hit by a car. A car might have hit my cat. Let's do the exercises. Number 1. An expert. An expert must have written this book about Leptis magna. Here, this book about Leptis magna. Yes, think. I will let you think. Do you know the answer? Yes, excellent. Must. After must we put have, then been, past participle of be, and the verb 3 of write, written, and then we can add by an expert. So the sentence becomes: the book about Leptis magna must have been written by an expert. Number 2. Aliens can't have drawn the Nazca lines. Aliens can't have drawn the Nazca lines. So if we want to make the sentence in the form of passive, we can say the Nazca lines can't have been drawn. Can't have been drawn by aliens. 3. Someone must have used their hands to make this pot. So this pot must have been made by hand. Number 4. Apparently, the Death Valley stone was moved by water. So the Death Valley stone might have been moved by water. The Death Valley stone might have been moved by water. Our house was probably built in the 1820s. So our house might have been built. Our house might have been built in the 1820s. And number 6 and final sentence: perhaps this object was used for catching fish. So this project might have been used for catching fish. Here, in all the previous sentences, we put auxiliaries, then have. After have, we put been, then past participle of the main verb in the sentence. We can find the answers here. And my students, you can compare between these answers and yours to check them up. And finally, I hope you all have the benefit of this lesson. Practice more and more, be hardworking, and goodbye.